Hello.
Then, now,
Countdown to the queens.
Episode number 500.
forever.
Looks like hell froze over.
Without any more further ado,
Together.
let's jump straight into the show. Hello, welcome to episode number 42 of the TEW IX Challenge Run. We are here for Raw for Monday, the 23rd of September 2024. We are a week away from the Raw Unforgiven TV special, which we learned last week will feature the rematch between AJ Styles and Gunther for the WWE Championship, and will also feature some more matches which will have finalized tonight, including our main event, which will pit Roxy Perez, Tiffany Stratton, Becky Stardust, and Jade Cargill in a four-way, with a winner facing Nova Nebula for the belt on that show, plus a tag team turmoil featuring 5 of Raw's tag teams, with the winners facing Path of the Dragon on that show. And we learned last week a jailhouse street fight between Dijak and Christian to settle their scores will be taking place on next week's show. But before then, we've got to get through this last show tonight. Without any more further ado, though, let's jump straight into the show. We kick off with Imperium making their way down to the ring. And he said, last week, myself, the Ring General Gunther, stood before you, the new WWE Heavyweight Champion. And I learned last week that next week on Raw's Unforgiven, I'll be defending my championship for the very first time against a familiar foe. A rematch against AJ Styles. Now AJ, in Berlin you took me to my limit. You gave me one hell of a match in a country that means a lot to the career of me. But don't make that one mistake, is not getting the job done. Because if you couldn't defeat the Ring General before, now I know what you're all about, AJ. And next week at Unforgiven, I'm going to go 2-0 over the phenomenal AJ Styles. And then AJ comes out. He goes, Gunther, you're right. Berlin, it wasn't my night. But when you've had a career as long as I've had a career, you know that setbacks, they're inevitable. But there's one thing perfectly clear. I'm far from done. I won't be done here until I can once again call myself the greatest wrestler in the world. And to call myself the greatest wrestler in the world, I need to be the WWE Champion. So in Berlin, you may have had somewhat of a home field advantage. But you're not going to be in Berlin next week. You're going to walk down that ring still WWE Champion. You can hand that championship over to the referee and you're going to ring the bell. And you're going to lose the championship to the better wrestler on the night. That being AJ Styles. I'm going to laugh because AJ, it's 2024, get up with the times. I'm sure back in the day, 8 years ago, people were calling you the greatest wrestler in the world, but right now, people are saying that about me. And the fact that I am the WWE Heavyweight Champion proves that without a shadow of a doubt, I am the best wrestler in the world today. AJ said, well, next week is a long time, I shouldn't even be the one challenging you next week. It could have easily been somebody else. It could have easily been Montez Ford. It could have easily been your little sidekick, Gio Vinci, right there. I could have just sort of turned to Vinci as Vinci looks annoyed almost that AJ brought him to his attention. He goes, you know what, Gio? AJ Styles, he does make some valid points. See, last week, you had a chance to redeem yourself. Your defeat that you suffered at the hands of Imperium, costing us the championship gold at Bash in Berlin. That was all on you, Gio. Ludwig in his home country could have become a champion. We could have all been champions, but you messed it up. So I gave you a last week as a chance to redeem yourself. I entered you into that WWE Championship Contenders Triple Threat match, and you still came up short. And now still, the Ring General has to defend his championship against AJ Styles next week. And AJ goes, well, sounds like you're scared of having to defend your championship against me. He goes, it's not that. It's merely an inconvenience to my schedule. But unlike you and other people like you who do this because you love it, I do this to get paid and because I'm damn good at it. So I'll be there next week against you. Then Giovanni Vinci just take the microphone. He goes, you know, Gunther, at Berlin, you and AJ, you had one hell of a match. You had us all in awe. And maybe it was that, got in my head and, put me off in that main event. So I, for one, would love to see a rematch between you two next week, and I'm going to get to do just that. But why should you have another rematch? Why can't we up the stakes to this? Why can't we put some extra flair on next week's championship match? And Gunter looks at Vinci like he's just, killed his family. But AJ Styles is smiling back and goes, no, he's good. He's good, you see. A Bash in Berlin. The world got to see, finally, what an AJ Styles and Gunther pay-per-view singles match for the World Championship got to look like. There's no need to do that again if you want to retain that championship. If you want to prove you're a champion, you can win with whatever obstacles is thrown your way, right, Ring General? He goes, I don't not want obstacles in my professional wrestling matches because I'm scared of them. I don't want obstacles in my professional wrestling matches because it is a disgrace and a mockery of the sport that I am damn good at. And he goes, well, real champions I know will be willing to defend their titles in whatever kind of match gets thrown their way. So here's my pitch. I'll go talk to Bobby about this. Bobby's an old friend of mine. I'm sure he'll love the idea. Next week, the main event of Raw's Unforgiven television special. It will be the phenomenal AJ Styles challenging for the WWE Championship against the Ring General Gunther. Tables, ladders, and chairs. And Gunther just fakes it. He goes, nope, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Do you think this is okay? This isn't a game of climbing up into the attic to go restore the remainders of your relevancy, AJ. This is a professional wrestling match where you have to pin another man's shoulders to the mat 1, 2, 3 to get the job done. And then he just shouts and goes, Fine, we'll make it tables, ladders, and chairs. You don't have to hang the championship on the ring. We can make it pinfall or submission if that's right up your alley. I'm going to sort of just glares at Vinci. And he goes, it's not right up my alley, as you said, AJ. But it is preferable to whatever sort of nonsense you were pitching before. But as the WWE Heavyweight Champion of the world, I have to see this sort of nonsense coming and protect this brand from maniacs like you ruining this great sport. So if that's the match that you so desperately want, I'll see you next week. So yeah, there we go. A TLC rematch, AJ Styles and Gunter for the WWE Championship next week. Pinfall or submission, because Gunter don't do no ladder BS. But yeah, that was sort of all on Vinci. Vinci sort of fucked up there again. And then, doesn't he learn it? Because we go to ads after that segment. Then we cut back. Vinci's pacing through the halls. Ludwig goes, well, look what you did out there. You may have accidentally cost the Ring General the WWE Championship. And Vinci goes, well, if he's so good, then he should just be able to win the match next week. He goes, no, you don't get it. You don't get Imperium, okay? The fact that tables, ladders, and chairs and all that other bullcrap is illegal next week. That's not our style. That's not professional wrestling, and that alone puts the Ring General at a disadvantage. What's there to not get? And just, you're making me so angry I can't even think, Gio. Then Gunter storms in. He goes, hey, thought that was funny what you did out there, huh? Vinci just goes, well, I thought that as a WWE champion you'd be willing to take it on a challenge. Gunter goes, you have now got me taking part in garbage. Or because you couldn't keep your little mouth shut. However, Gio, I'm willing to forgive you if you could do one little thing for me. At Bash in Berlin, Imperium came up short of all becoming champions. Next week that will not be the case. Because you and Ludwig tonight, you win that tag team gauntlet eliminator. And you face Path of the Dragon next week for the championships, and you do right what you did wrong back at Berlin. And I'll swallow my pride. I'll take part in AJ Styles' garbage professional wrestling match. And despite it all, the Ring General will still be WWE Champion. 73-rate opening tag team match. Tegan and Piper, they're in action on Raw this week against the Page Sisters of Club Venus. They pick up the win, Piper Niven pinning Kenzie Page with a Michinoku driver. 76 for Piper, 75 for Tegan, 46 for Kylie, and at 53 for Kenzie. And yeah, nice little win. Heel tag teams on... Well, I don't want to call up more people for Raw right now because inherently I think the division is quite stacked. But I fall into the trap where I have a lot of them doing things. Like, it's a good problem to have. Where, like... I've got a lot of people on the show, but a lot of them are doing things that when I'm like, who can Tegan and Piper wrestle? It's like Page Sisters who have just come out of a feud, and like the rest of them are raw baby faces. So my instinct was I wanted to call somebody up, but I was like, no, you're just doing that because you need someone right here, right now. But like, give it a couple of weeks, and more people will free up. But yeah, after the match, Kevin Patrick gets into the ring. He says, Tegan and Piper, it may have been hard for you to be separated from your friends over here on Raw, but it's time for a fresh start. And what are your plans going forward for here on the Raw brand? Tegan's like, last time I checked, Kevin, the Raw Tag Team Champions. Oh, pardon me, champion. Because, she's so selfish and self-absorbed that she can't even consider the idea of having a partner, a best friend like me and Piper, is still on this show, so the goal remains the same. We keep racking up wins in this division, an incredibly stacked division, top to bottom. And we get back those women's tag team championship. And the Piper Niven goes to talk when they're jumped from behind by Tatum Paxley, of all people. And she just attacks Tegan and Piper, tosses Tegan against the ring post, probably hits the psycho trap on Piper Niven. And just laughs at him on the floor and then leaves. So yeah, Tatum Paxley is taking issues with the Liberators. We then cut backstage. Bronson Steiner's in Bobby Roode's office. And he's watching the security cam footage from the parking lot last week after we left. He goes, you thought this was funny, didn't you, Bronson? And he sort of just laughs and goes, I did, yeah, and it was. I don't regret it at all. Because of you, random civilians and fans outside of the arena got hurt last week. Do you know how that looks for our company? Bronson goes, probably not good. And then Bobby goes, yeah, not good at all. And we've found you out the ass, we've suspended you. But we don't know what else to do, because we don't want to fire you, because unfortunately, you hold a lot of stock right now. Your stock has never been higher here on Monday Night Raw after Bash at Berlin. Bronson Steiner just starts laughing and he goes, that sounds like an awful problem for you to have, because I ain't stopping what I'm doing anytime soon. So you got to come up with something, or else this entire locker room is getting its ass put through a wall because of me. Bobby goes, and what do you get out of that, exactly? And he goes, easy. I want my shot. I want my shot to be a champion around here. And you are protecting everybody from me. Because that's not true. Maybe if you actually went about your business, I'd be more inclined to put you in championship opportunities. But for now, I'm going to have to ask you to leave, Bronson. Because again, man, I sure hope there's nobody in the parking lot waiting out there for me. And then he leaves. Bobby Roode follows him to the parking lot. And Brother Sly does just get into a car and leave. Bobby Roode sighs a big sigh of relief. But as Bronson Steiner pulls away from the parking lot, a big car pulls in, tinted windows, and random paparazzi and fans swarm the car oh my god, is she in there? Is it true? And then out steps Becky Stardust. Actually, no, out steps Kelly first. And she opens the door and then Becky comes out. Lyra follows her out. And Becky just sort of just tuts and goes, the bum bad thing, girls, about being big time, about being Becky Stardust is the adoring people who love you and worship your every move. I get it. I'd be that for me too, but luckily for me, I am me, so I don't have to. Anyway, tonight is a big night for Becky Stardust and the Misfits, because the Women's Tag Team Champions, has an opportunity tonight to become the number one contender for the WWE Women's Championship. All I've got to do is take down all my opponents in that main event match. And there's not really a lot of competition there if I look at it. Got, a little girl last week. She pinned me somehow. And she's probably going to live off that month for the rest of her life because I'm so giving that I made that child's wish come true. She got to pin Becky Stardust in the middle of a WWE ring. But that's not going to happen again. We've also got Barbie, Sabrina Carpenter, whatever her name is. She thinks she's hot shit. She thinks she is who Becky Stardust is. Never. And then Lara's like, what about Jade? And Becky sort of stops. She turns around and goes, pardon you, bird girl? I didn't ask you to tweet. Okay, so keep your little beak shut. She goes, I said, what about Jade? Cargill. He goes, what about Jade Cargill? Because she's in this match too, and, she's kind of impressive. She's kind of an Amazon, A lot of women aspire to be like Jade Cargill. Becky gets in her face and goes, a lot of people aspire to be me, huh? Because I'm a New York Times bestseller, I'm a former WrestleMania main eventer, 3-time WrestleMania main event winner, and I'm the current Women's Tag Team Champions. So I'd much rather be me than be Jade Cargill, okay? And I am me. I'm not Jade Cargill, and that's why I'm gonna win tonight in that Fatal 4-Way. Okay, you got it? Lara's like, I think so. Yeah. Then Becky walks off, and Kelly goes, well, after you. It's great, yeah. They walk off, they follow Becky inside. We then see Damian Priest and Raven making their way out. It's one of those, again, the one-shot backstage promo. And Raven's doing most of the talking to start with. He goes, tonight, Buddy Bloody Murphy is a lost soul, He's a man without a flock, a man with nowhere to nest. But the grand jury, we've been trying to take everyone in. Maybe we misjudged the situation with Trick Williams. But now, Buddy, your friend, your former tag team partner, your former tag team champion partner, Mr. Damian Priest, is going to go out there right now and teach you a lesson as to what happens when you fly with my flock. Because we're flying only one way, and that's up. And your career is currently going nowhere of the sort. And the Priest goes, Buddy, it's nothing personal. I just want you to remember who the hell you are. And if I've got to beat your ass tonight to do that, then beat your ass I will. We then get the match. 85. Yes, sure. Nice little match between the two here. And yeah, it is Damian Priest picks up the win. He pins Buddy Murphy with the South of Heaven in 13:57. Priest gets an 88 and a 77 for Buddy Bloody Murphy. Nice. Yeah, big win for Priest. But Buddy, he's the latest person who's been trying to be recruited by the flock. But this one, I guess, is more personal because of obviously the history he has with Priest. And Ken Cobain and Emerson Frost aren't here at ringside because they are a part of the tag team turmoil coming up next, actually. So yeah, that's where they are, for those wondering. But yeah, Priest with the win here tonight. I forgot to put somebody on screen. Anyway, we cut back to the locker room. Like, they do these shots at NXT a lot, but I don't know if they do them really that much on the main roster. But like, you can see a guy in the locker room watching the show. And it's Trick. Trick's in there and he goes, man, Buddy, you almost had him, Not nobody can be whooping that Trick like Tricky Willie can, and coming out on top against those grand jury guys, but they ain't got your best interest at heart, Buddy, Stay strong, Buddy. And then Gable walks in and he starts applauding. He goes, Trick Williams, you're one of the fastest rising stars here on Raw. Who else is a fast rising star here on Raw? Me, Mr. Money in the Bank. Last week I whipped the ass, or as you'd say, whooped the trick of the Cruiserweight Champion, Axiom. And he goes, what do you want, Gable? And he goes, Trick, the grand jury, they wanted to get you on their board because they thought you were a lost soul with no purpose on this roster. And I disagree because I'm seeing a lot of similarities between you and I because what you said would panned out tonight. Buddy Murphy, he came up short against Damian Priest. And if he sticks by your words, God knows he'll be okay, just like you were okay. Just like I was right about CM Punk. And everything that he was going to do here on Raw. And how he ran away scared when he saw Chad Gable with Mr. Money in the Bank because I actually broke his ankle earlier this year. And He knows that if me and him were to face off for the WWE Championship, I'd walk out the champion. So he ran away like a coward and burned this whole place down because that's the only thing CM Punk knows how to do is burn bridges. And then you got Seth Rollins, that little coward who couldn't handle being right and everybody looking down on him. So he quit. He quit and ran away to the bingo halls where his career first started. Not me. My career started at the Olympic Village. Okay, Chad Gable was right and I was always right. And I'm not shy about letting people know that fact. And Trick just looks at him and goes, "You're not, are you?" He goes, "No, absolutely not. If I quit, who'd be here to, bestow the truth on the WWE Raw roster?" And Trick goes, "Well, like you just said, apparently me." Gable goes, "Don't be silly, Trick. It takes years to get a 4.0 GPA like mine. But I can tell you the truth about your career right now, Trick. You will never reach the heights of Chad Gable. You will never be Mr. Money in the Bank. You will never be WWE Champion because you're not it." Trick goes, "Oh, I'm not it. Is this it?" He smacks Gable in the face. Gable goes, "You put your hands on Mr. Money in the Bank. You're lucky I don't have a go-go. Knock your ass out right here, right now." And he goes, "Well, if he's feeling froggy, jump." Gable goes, "He's not feeling froggy. Okay? Maybe next week, at Raw Unforgiven, maybe he will be feeling froggy then." Then cut backstage, EST, all of them, Bianca, Tez, Jakara, and Oro Mensah, sat around. And Montez Ford is pissed off. He goes, "Hey, Mr. Ford, don't worry, Montez." Next day goes, he was trying to keep that championship out of my hands by putting Vinci in that match last week. He knew that Vinci wasn't going to be able to get the job done. And AJ snuck in out of nowhere and got the win. It just pisses me off because that championship opportunity should be mine. Becky goes, "Babe, you're not the only person screwed out of title opportunities recently. Last week I had to start getting myself back up and remind people who the hell I am because I'm the EST and I'm still the EST. But there's this Fatal 4-Way match tonight that I'm not in and I've got to watch it from afar as other women wrestle for a championship that I should own." And then Tiffany Stratton and Co. walk in. She goes, "That's right, I can't help but hear you whining, Bianca. Maybe if you actually got some wins and actually started being the winningest here on Raw, you'd be in that match later on tonight, but you're not, because you are wasting your time trying to level up women who are so beneath you, like Jakara. Jakara Jackson, she's never going to be Bianca Belair. You're wasting your time doing this tag team stuff with her, and she's losing for you, and your stock is dropping. Okay, unlike me, who is a future WWE Women's Champion, you'll see tonight when I win that Fatal 4-Way main event, who's raising the stock of Mariah May, who's raising the stock of Amber Porter, because I'm just so kind, and being in the Tiffy orbit, orbiting the center of the universe, it does great things for you, unlike orbiting this. Because, well, first of all, you came in here, you disrespected me. I've heard that my whole life, but I come out disrespecting Jakara, my girl. Okay, now we've got a problem, Tiffany goes, "Well, I sense things getting hostile in here, but unfortunately I have a match tonight. So I can't risk you punching my pretty little Tiffy face because I need to be pretty for the photos when me and Nova take our photo shoots for the match next week." Bianca goes, "Well, what about your friends, who are on your level, like you said? What about me and one of them tonight?" And Amber Porter just steps up and she goes, "Chance to humble Bianca Belair. I'll take that." We see Alexa Bliss come out again. We're doing another moment of bliss. And she goes, "Well, ladies and gentlemen, I guess last week's show was such a success that Bobby Roode has ordered a double dose of a moment of bliss tonight." Now, last week, I had a former foe sat opposite me on that chair. And she sure did fire a lot of shots at me, but luckily I'm the host. I've heard shit like that before my entire career. And I have another former foe who's scheduled to come out here very soon, but this is for a whole different reason, because she's got her own problems that she's looking to host, so I guess I'm sort of Jerry Springer for tonight. Not know how I wanted this show to go, but I guess it's where we're going. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former WWE Women's Champion, Bayley. Bayley comes out. Because Bayley, it's been a long time since you and I sat here, We had a brief thing, we're trying to deal with some reckless youths a couple of months ago, but, how's your career going since then? Bayley goes, "So I lost the WWE Women's Championship at SummerSlam to Nova. I'd love to have excuses for that, but Nova was just the better wrestler on the night. Then I got pinned at Bash in Berlin for Nova to retain the championship. And last week I got pinned by Amory Porter, so it's not going great, Alexa, if I'm being honest. Let's talk about last week. That's why we're out here. You and Stephanie Vaquer were in a tag team bout against Tiffany Stratton's girls. And, it was miscommunication between you two that lost. And I understand, a lot of frustrations come of losing, as competitors. And, as competitive as we all are here in WWE, we want to win every single match. That's understandable. Because I just want to, call out Stephanie, speak to Stephanie, hash things out. Because last week we were both hot-headed. Stephanie does come out. She takes a seat next to Bayley. She goes, Bayley, I forgive you. Things in WWE are so stressful. This division is so competitive and so tough that it's hard to get opportunities to stand out, and losing when you want an opportunity is definitely frustrating, even when you are a former WWE Women's Champion like yourself. WrestleMania main event winner. But it can be equally as frustrating, just as, if not more so, for a newbie like me who's trying to find her feet on this show. And Bayley goes, I know, I've been there. Trust me, I've been there. And Alexa, she can vouch. And she's like, yeah, I can. Remember when Bayley, when you were the Women's Champion the first time, and how that ended? Bayley goes, yep, thank you. Alexa, that's what I'm referencing. Anyway. And then Cora Jade comes out. She goes, what do we have out here? We have more little friendships falling apart. That's weird. Because, You know who I see out here? Alexa, hi. I see a woman who was so easily manipulated just a few months ago because she thought she was helping out a prodigy of this division, one of the young rising stars here on Raw, by being her ally, her friend. I had to realize that the real friends were the two talented young upstarts looking to put has-beens like Alexa Bliss down. Do you know who else I see? Stephanie Vaquer. You, Stephanie, I've heard a lot about you. You're just like us. You're just like me and Roxy. You're slated as one of the top future stars here in WWE, a future champion, no doubt. So you're looking, to nuzzle up to veterans to, try and find your way to the top of the card. Bayley goes, do you mind, Cora, what are you doing out here? And then Cora goes, and you. Do you know who I see most importantly sat in that chair right there? I see a fraud. Bayley will come out here every single week calling herself a role model. And she loves it when you pat her up that, but that's what I did. That's why I tried to get in Bayley's good graces again next year, because I wanted to get close to her championship. That's what all of that was about. I knew I could butter up to Bayley and make her feel nice and weak, because I've opened up to her and I'm seeing her as the role model that she wants me to see her as. That's all it takes to get in her good graces. You dare go against that and you get kicked to the curb. You want proof? Oh, you will want proof. Okay. Well, let's go see Sasha Banks. Let's go ask Sasha Banks how she felt. Let's go ask Dakota Kai how it felt when she was pushed off 16-foot ladder to the floor at Money in the Bank last year. Hell, just ask me. When Damage Control fell apart, it didn't fall apart because I was the one with the ego trip. It was you, Bayley. And I don't want anything to do with you, okay? Because Roxy's about to come out here and win an opportunity to become the WWE Women's Champion. And, as an actual friend and an actual partner of Roxy, I will support her instead of getting jealous like you do. I just wanted to remind you, and more specifically, alert Stephanie of who we're dealing with here, because you got a history, Bayley. Sooner or later, when Stephanie served her usefulness to you, and you've sapped the life out of another young talent who you're worried about eclipsing your spot, then you'll kick her to the curb just like you did me, and Dakota, and Sasha, and everybody else. But hey, have a good night. And Cora leaves. Bayley does sort of sit there like looking shocked, like speechless. And Stephanie's like side-eyed, like giving her a weird look. Alexa goes, Anyway, I think that might be a good time to end tonight. And Bailey goes, no, stop. Cora, she made some valid points. And I honestly wish her the best for how she's doing right now, but she's misread me. The reason why all those things happened wasn't because I wanted to be selfish. It was because I had insecurities that needed to be dealt with, and I guess throwing my friends to the curb was what helped me get over those. I came into this industry onto Monday Night Raw, and I was branded. I was the fourth of the horsewomen to make it up to Raw. I was the last. I wasn't even picked in the draft when they all came up. I was left in NXT by myself. Then after I did come up, I won the championship and I lost it. And then I couldn't get the championship back for a while now. And once I did get that championship back, I had to abandon all my morals to keep it. And I was the last to main event WrestleMania. I was the last to do it twice. All that stuff, it did weigh on me on my career. But now, we're not talking about the same Bailey we were talking about 4 years ago. The one who was still harboring those insecurities. The one who was still harboring all that bitter, pent-up frustration and vengeance of how she'd been labelled. I know who the hell I am. I called myself a role model back then because I wanted to convince myself I was one. Now, I've had enough women walk through these doors that have told me that I am one. You just saw one of them come out here and run me down right now. Roxy Perez, that's another one. And Stephanie, she's one too. So Stephanie, you can believe what you want to believe. But last week was a mistake on my part. And if it was really up to me, I think there's a lot of potential in us too. And she just leaves and walks out. And then I said, Stephanie, any final words? And Stephanie takes the mic. And she says, I see now. I see how it is. And she walks out as well. Alex goes, well, I guess that's the end of the show, guys. Roll the commercial. we then see R-Truth backstage. And he's on the phone. Titus, where are you? It's been 21 weeks and we haven't seen Titus World Records here. It's been nearly half a year. People are wondering where you are. Are you dead? What do you mean recording? It doesn't take this long to record an album, does it? It does. Is that why people take years off before we make writing music? I thought they were just lazy. And then the D'Angelo fan book goes, hey, Truth. Goes, hey, what's up, Nunzio? Goes, Nunzio? Anyway, you're calling me Nunzio? You must not know who you're talking to. Okay, things have changed since Titus World Records were here. I'm the Dawn of Raw. I'm Tony D'Angelo. And I think I've got a proposition for you, Truth. And Truth goes, what is it? I'm kind of busy on the phone. Talk about Titus, yeah. Haven't seen Titus around here in a while. Titus, when he comes back, he's going to be a bit surprised to see what's happened to you, Truth. Because this is our turf now. Because really, is that why last week I saw you guys scared and running away from Bronson Steiner? Because, hey, you didn't see that, Truth. That wasn't us. That was Nunzio and the full-blooded Italians, okay? Because, oh, so you're not Nunzio. No, I'm Tony D'Angelo. So last week, Nunzio, that was who I saw scared of Bronson Steiner. Because, yes, correct. Anyway, have you considered, Truth, being an inside man for the Mafia? And he sort of looks around. He's like, 3-6 Mafia? Yeah, 3-6 Mafia. Dog, I love those. They made Mark Henry's theme music, and that was a damn back in the day, dog. Back in my childhood, when I grew up watching John Cena wrestle Mark Henry, I wanted him to lose because he was an asshole, because he put that pink jacket on, and he slammed my childhood hero, John Cena, into the mat. But man, 3-6 Mafia, they did go in hard on that theme song. So he goes, hey, now you're getting it. Truth, I think you get a bum rep. You and the family, we can do good business together. And he walks off. And then he truthfully goes, Titus, you'll never guess what? I spoke to 3-6 Mafia. Okay? They want to write our theme music. Yes, really. Okay. I'll let him know. And then he runs off chasing after Tony D'Angelo. Anyway, speaking of the 3-6 Mafia, Tony D'Angelo and Stacks of the 3-6 Mafia, of course, kick off the gauntlet. Oh, sorry. Well, it is a gauntlet, but tag team turmoil against the Guns. And the Guns do pick up a win, because I think they might have won a single match since coming to the main roster. So, yeah, remind people that they do win. They can win matches. And the Guns, Austin Gunn, Pinch, Channing, Stacks, Lorenzo, 310 to Yuma, 51 for Austin, 44 for Colton, 57 for Troy, 2 Doms Donovan, and 53 for Stacks. The next team in the gauntlet is Imperium. And Imperium come in and they make relatively short work of the Guns. Giovanni Vinci getting the job done, pinning Colton Gunn with an Imperial Bomb in 7:26. 47 for Colton, 54 for Austin, 91 for Ludwig, 89 for Giovanni Vinci. Next up is Emerson Frost and Ken Cobain, I believe, of the Grand Jury. And then when Imperium have a nice little match, and the winners are the Grand Jury, which I'm sure will piss Gunter off, especially because Emerson Frost pins Giovanni Vinci with a triple C in 8:55. 88 for Ludwig, 87 for Vinci, 71 for Ken Cobain, 76 for Emerson Frost. And then the final team of the tag team turmoil makes their way down. It's Dirty Dom and Lexis King of the Patriarchy, who do score the win in 8:37, with Dirty Dom apparently submitting, but I guess pinning Ken Cobain with a frog splash. 61 for Lexis King, 89 for Dirty Dom, 83 for Emerson Frost, and 88 for Ken Cobain. Ken Cobain and Raven have great chemistry. That's nice to know. But yeah, next week, the Patriarchy, Dirty Dom, and Lexis King have the chance to become the tag team champions. They'll wrestle Path of the Dragon for the World Tag Team titles. After the match, Christian takes a microphone. He goes, well, would you look at that, the very first night on the job of my sons. Okay, you saw the Guns in this match last night, the sons of Billy Gunn. But the sons of Christian, they're far more talented. They are the next World Tag Team Champions. My oldest, Dirty Dom, my newest son, Lexis, next week are going to put those dragons in the ground. And then Dijak appears on the Titantron. It's like he's like in one of those old, like, the NXT Dijak vignettes where he'd be sounding like a jailhouse or whatever. And yeah, he's just there at the table. He goes, Christian, I see you're running your mouth, as usual. Well, let me remind you just what you will be up to next week. You see, your kids, Dirty Dom and Lexis King, they may have their own little match going on, but you're going to be very busy, very, very busy, my former friend. Because this is a jailhouse street fight. Let me hear like a door slam. And he goes, the rules, they favor Dijak. There's no pinfalls, no submissions, no countouts, no disqualifications. The only way to win is to bring justice to your opponents. And by bringing justice to my opponents, I mean slamming, locking your opponent inside of a cage and slamming it shut. So, Christian, your crimes, they can only last for so long. Your vengeance and your jealousy can only get you so far, because next week you'll be nothing but a little bitch where you belong, behind bars. And Christian, he just sort of looks and goes, was that supposed to intimidate me? Huh? I'll put you behind bars where you belong, Dijak. Okay, we can end this once and for all. You can go and rebel against our family and be the worst version of yourself that you want to be. Because this patriarchy is going up already without you. And they get an interview. Kathy Kelly's with Bivens and Jade Cargill. She goes, so Bivens, we've heard from Becky Lynch earlier on tonight. We heard from Tiffany Stratton. So Jade Cargill is the third member of that Fatal 4-Way match tonight. What are your thoughts going into the match? Because Jade Cargill has no thoughts heading into this match, Kathy Kelly, because Jade Cargill doesn't need thoughts heading into this match. When Jade Cargill signed to World Wrestling Entertainment last year, she knew it would only be a matter of time before she was the main event, and tonight she's in the main event of Monday Night Raw against 3 other women who are lucky to be in the presence of this big ol' bitch right here. Okay, because there's a lot of people around the world that would love to be beaten up and stacked and pinned by this bitch, Jade Cargill, right here. But unfortunately for those people, and I've seen you all on Twitter, you don't do a very good job of hiding yourselves. Unfortunately for those people, they've got to watch as 3 women get that privilege tonight. Tiffany Stratton, Becky Lynch, Stardust, Big Time Bex, whatever she wants to call herself. She's a goddamn mad woman who's lost her goddamn mind. Doesn't matter. Jade will stack her up and pin her to Roxy Perez. She's half the height of Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill's had breakfasts bigger than Roxy Perez. 5 foot nothing, huh? Just like me. You know how small you have to be if Malcolm Bivens is looking down on you? But tonight everybody's going to be looking down on all 3 of those women because Jade Cargill is that bitch and she's the next WWE Women's Champion. And Nova Nebula. It's great to finally see you win that championship. You won King of the Ring. Great return you've had since becoming a mom. You know who's been doing this shit as a mother this whole time? Jade Cargill. She's everybody else's mother, but also, more importantly, she's her own daughter's mother, and she's going to become a women's champion for her. Because that's what that bitch does. And then come backstage. Vinci, holding his head in his hands after that match. Ludwig coming in and goes, "Hey, Gio, what went wrong up there tonight, huh? What are you going to blame this one on? First it was Berlin, me and you coming up short. We had that win. We did get a win tonight. But then you blew it just like you always blow it, Gio. Were you ever going to not blow anything for Imperium?" And she goes, "I guess wrestling back-to-back matches, it's tough. I'm sorry." Goes, "Gio!" Amos Gunter goes, "It happens again, huh? Gio, there's an old saying, what goes around comes around. Unfortunately for you, Gio, I call this tough love. Ludwig?" "Yes, Gunther." "Grab him." And Ludwig has to grab Vinci, hold him in place. Vinci's not even trying to fight free. He just sighs, shuts his eyes, sort of looks away. He's accepted what's going to happen. And Gunther does deliver a big chop on Vinci, and he falls to the ground. He goes, "Loser. Embarrassing. Now, the only thing you've got to do next week is help me retain my championship in this garbage match you signed me up for." Wes Lee's backstage. Yes. I don't understand why I log on my Twitter and I'm getting spammed with hate from children. I can only assume they're children with little LA Knight profile pictures saying that the megastar is going to get you, yeah. Everything I said was right. Now, Jay White, he's currently the Intercontinental Champion. I have more respect for Jay White than I have for LA Knight, let me tell you that. But to get to that Intercontinental Championship, I need to become the number 1 contender. And there's only one way I can become the number 1 contender. And that's by beating LA Knight's ass. Just like he needs. Okay, because I'm in the prime of my career. LA Knight, he's already a washed up has-been. He's had his 15 minutes of fame. They're already over. So next week, Raw Unforgiven. Championship opportunity on the line. Myself and LA Knight 1-on-1. And I'm going to put this megastar down and show the whole world what he really is. All hype. And the door knocks. And then he opens the door. He goes, "Who is it?" He goes, "Delivery for a jackass." The door flies open. It's LA Knight dressed as a delivery driver. And he beats up Wesley around his house. And Wesley goes, "How the hell did you get here?" And LA Knight just beats him up. And then Wesley does run away. He goes, "Hey, run away from me, huh? You can only run away as far as you can. And sooner or later, you have to come up here and catch this catch this work from the megastar. LA Knight, your next Intercontinental Champion." Yeah. Oh. Well, okay then, Bianca. Bianca Belair and Emery Porter again, 85 rated match. There's been a lot of blue rated matches for surprising people recently. Kelsey Cook. You know, it's funny because it's Kelsey specifically. Kelsey Cook got a 90 on ECW and Emery gets an 85 in a night. So, yeah. And also, technically, Emery's was against Bianca and Kelsey's was against Ruby. So, you know, in terms of star power, the Ruby and Emery, well, the Ruby and Kelsey one is even more impressive. But yeah, Bianca does pick up the win here. She gets a nice rebound win over Emery Porter. KOD in 10:24. 85 for Bianca Belair, 78 for Anne-Marie. We then cut back to Kathy Kelly. Her guest this time is Axiom, the Cruiserweight Champion. Kathy goes, Axiom, you know, ever since SummerSlam, ever since WrestleMania, you've been the Cruiserweight Champion over on Velocity, and you've been killing it over on Velocity, but last week you made your return to Raw, and you had a hell of a match with Chad Gable. You did come up short, but it was great to see you back in action here on Monday nights. And Axiom goes, it has been long overdue, Kathy. You know, as the Cruiserweight Champion, you know, Velocity does temporarily hold my home for now. But make one thing for sure, despite being the Cruiserweight Champion, I am still a Monday Night Raw superstar, and I can still show up here and put my name on the map here on Monday Night Raw as well as on Velocity. So Chad Gable last week may have come in and put me down. That's my own fault, but I'm not done with Chad Gable or anybody else here on Monday Night Raw, because I'm here to make a statement on my own as a world-class competitor. That's when Dia and Manny walk into fame. They go, we love to hear it, King. We love a strong, confident king like yourself. He goes, hey boys, how you getting on? And Manny goes, we've been better, actually, buddy. And we don't actually want to bring you back into our stuff because it's our mess to clean up. It'll be, you know, remiss of us to call up you or Harland or Selena to clean up any of our mess. He goes, hey, you know, where's Shirai? She goes, that's sort of the problem that we're dealing with, Axiom. You haven't seen Shirai anywhere, have you? He goes, no, I haven't. He goes, anyway, so you're sort of this math whiz, right? And he goes, you flatter me, but I'm alright at it, yes. He goes, so I can see it in your eyes, Axiom. You're confused right now. When you did all that research about this evil pendant, you know, took the sanity of our beloved former sensei, you didn't read up on any consequences of what might happen if it was destroyed and, you know, hypothetically put the love of your life into a coma. And Axiom goes, no, I didn't do any of that research, but I did, you know, see that, you know, it would be bad for the original host if that did happen. And then Manny goes, and you tell us this now, why? And Axiom goes, because you asked. He goes, what he means to say is, that problem that gets caused, is there any way to reverse that? Because we sort of may have ended up in a little bit of a pickle. And then, as he goes, why? Where's Shirai? Then we just hear a bunch of women scream. And then a bunch of, like, backstage worker women or, like, random women, like, run away from something. And Manny goes, I'm gonna guess over there. And they scoot away. And Axiom just turns back to Kathy Kelly and he goes, I love them boys, but I'm glad that's not my business anymore. And then he walks off. Speaking of supernatural business, we cut to Finn Balor. Sat in his dark room, on a chair. And he sort of like, he just sat there just staring at the TV. He goes, time off on a Monday night. It's kind of relaxing to be at home, not at work on a Monday night. But why don't they need you, Finn? Why have you fallen so far down that Bobby Roode doesn't feel the need to give you a call anymore? He turns the TV off and he goes, it must be nothing. He goes into like the bathroom, washes his face, looks at himself in the mirror, then he hears the spooky voice again, and he's like, Finn, you know why. Finn Balor is a loser. You can deny it all you want, Finn. You know what has to be done. You're a coward if you say no. What is there to lose, Finn? You've already lost and lost and lost, and nobody takes you seriously anymore. We never lost and lost and lost. We win. we always win. Next week is the full card for the television special for Raw Unforgiven show, yes. Including our new main event, which will be a tables, ladders and chairs match, pinfall or submission variety, as the phenomenal AJ Styles once again challenges for the WWE Championship, the championship held by the Ring General Gunther, who defeated AJ to win the vacant championship back at Bash in Berlin. Will the Ring General's reign come to an end after just 2 weeks, or will he emerge tall in what he's called a garbage match that was accidentally set up by Vinci? That's of course not the only championship match set for next week, as Path of the Dragon will defend the World Tag Team Championships, as we learned earlier on tonight, against the Patriarchy's Dominic Mysterio and Lexis King. You know, they've only had one match as a tag team, but they won, so they're next in line. Plus, another World Championship match, even, as the WWE Women's Champion Nova Nebula makes the next defense of her championship against one of Jade Cargill, Becky Stardust, Tiffany Stratton, or Roxy Perez, who we'll find out in the main event coming up next. Plus, title not on the line, but implications, as Wes Lee and LA Knight go one-on-one in a big no disqualification grudge match on next week's episode of Raw. Plus, they had a brief backstage interaction earlier on tonight. It will be Chad Gable taking on Trick Williams next week. Also, following the attack from Tatum Paxley on the Liberators earlier on tonight, Tegan Knox and Tatum Paxley one-on-one in women's action. And last but certainly not least, it will be a women's tag team match, as Stephanie Vaquer and Bayley do team up to face Cora Jade and Roxy Perez. So Roxy could be on double duty next week. If she wins here tonight, you know, she's booked twice for next week's show. But yeah, those are the 7 matches for Raw's Unforgiven television special next week. Very quick build, but, you know, quite fun. I liked it. We then see Roxy. She's the last of the 4 in this main event we haven't heard from yet. Just last week, the woman who walks around here saying she holds both championships, the woman who walks around here calling herself the greatest of all time, a 3-time WrestleMania main eventer, she's done it all. But she lost to me. The great Becky Stardust, who you all love, who's having a bit of an identity crisis right now, couldn't get the job done against little old Roxy, who she called a lost child. Which is weird, because I've done a hell of a lot more at the age of 22 than most women in this entire roster. I've done something you haven't, Becky. You've never been a Liberty Champion. I have. But that was just the first step in my career. The next step in my career takes me to tonight. Takes me to this fatal 4-way match. All I've got to do is pin you again, and I'll be one step closer to being the WWE Women's Champion at just 22 years old. Now that is impressive. That is prodigy numbers. I don't care how many books you sell, Becky. I don't know how good Jade Cargill looks. I don't care how many Instagram clicks she gets. Or I don't care how much Tiffany walks around here saying that it's her time, because it's not. It's my time. Now watch me work. So yeah, fatal 4-way main event coming up next. 90. Yeah, we take that. We absolutely take that. Again, like I said before, I was like, there's been some weird matches where someone's outscored somebody else recently. Roxy Perez scores the highest in this match. She gets a 90, Becky gets an 85, and both Jade and Tiffany get 72s, but they are both off their game, it says. So yeah. But in the end, there can only be one winner and one number 1 contender for the WWE Women's Championship. You know, Tiffany Stratton's doing her thing. She hits her moves, hits that big moonsault on Becky. It's broken up by Jade. Tiffany, you know, she ends up flying to the outside. Jade Cargill takes it down with a big boot on the outside. And, you know, Tiffany Stratton, you know, does lay out Jade Cargill on the outside of the ring. Oh, no, not Jade, Becky. Her and Becky get into it on the outside of the ring. She slams Becky against the steps or whatever. When she turns around, and Bianca Belair's in there. Bianca whips Tiffany Stratton with her braid. And she nails the KOD on Tiffany Stratton. And then, like, the security and referees escort Bianca to the back as the fight continues in the ring. Roxy, you know, she's got Jade up top. How I'm imagining this is, she's got Jade, you know, Jade's seated on the top rope, Roxy goes up there. And I want it to be like, she tries to hit a pop rocks off the top rope, but like as she goes to fly off, like her feet leave the top rope and she flies over, but Jade catches her like in a position for an Alabama slam, and she somehow turns that into Jaded, and she hits the Jaded from the top rope, nailing Roxy Perez. She goes for the 1, 2. Becky storms into the ring. She tosses Jade Cargill to the outside and steals the pin. So it is Becky, the Women's Tag Team Champions, Becky Stardust, who will advance next week to wrestle Nova Nebula for the WWE Women's Championship. 85 for Becky, 90 for Roxy, 72 for Tiffany and Jade. Then after to close the show, Nova Nebula gets into the ring, and Becky, she's celebrating like she's won the title already. She's losing her mind. She's hugging Lyra and Kelly. She goes, "I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna be Becky 3 belts. Okay, this is why I am big time. This is why Becky Stardust is gonna rule the world. And you weird little alien girl, you're the next to fall and learn. This is my world, and you're all just living in it." 86. We'll take that. What matters more, though, is what you thought of the show. Do let me know what you thought in the comments below. A weird structure to the show this week because of the gauntlet. Like, it sort of threw the structure of the show off. Like all these segments back to back, and all these segments back to back, because I had to try and fit them because I didn't want to disrupt the gauntlet too much. But yeah, anyway, I'll see you on the other side for Heat. Heat kicks off a quick backstage interaction. Next gen are in Kiana James' little office. He says, "So last week, I wanted to just talk about last week real quick, girls. I gave you instructions, okay? Sasha Banks, the CEO, was not here. So, her job of taking care of Katana Chance was fallen to you, but yet you refused to take care of Katana Chance. What up?" And Kathy, cool, like, you can see, like, one of them, probably Nene, because Nene is, the muscle of the group. She's getting ready to say something, and Kathy sort of steps in and she's like, "Hey, we were just, look, it's Katana Chance, I don't think that the CEO should be wasting her time with someone like that. Okay? And neither should we. It's about even us. So, yeah, we didn't bother because it was a waste of our time." And Kenny goes, "I get that, but, Sasha wants what Sasha wants." Anyway, Indy Hartwell is going to wrestle Katana Chance here tonight, so, hopefully she can get the job done, girls. But, just so you know, it's probably best not to keep getting on Sasha's bad side. Kathy goes, we'll keep note of that. Yeah. 75 rated opener. Cora Jade picks up the win over Sonya Deville. Double underhook DDT, 10 minutes and 15. 73 for Cora, 68 for Sonya. And yeah, Cora didn't wrestle on Raw. She was just a part of she was the architect of Bayley's destruction, basically. But yeah, Cora does pick up the win. After that, we get a recap of, Tay and Packy's attack on the Liberators from Raw earlier on tonight. And we send Alicia Sanford to the depths of the locker room, or the arena, to try and find where Tatum is lurking. And she does find her. She goes, "Tatum, I was sending her to ask, what was the thought process behind the attack on the Liberators earlier on tonight?" Tatum goes, "Alicia, you came." She goes, "Yeah, I came." She goes, "Somebody actually came. Ever since Mommy left. It's been all alone here. No friends to hang around with. No Mommy to see as my own. It's sad. It's a sad, pathetic existence, Alicia. And at last, at Bash and Berlin's, of course, nobody's going to want to hang around with me. And I'm nice, I'm lovable. I don't get it. But doesn't matter. Now I've got new people coming to my show, and they're getting the welcome mats rolled out for them. But I'm still here, forgotten. Wasting away. Because who cares about Tatum Paxley, right? She was just Rhea's sidekick, right? She was just Ivy's tag team partner, right? Alexa's sidekick, right? Who cares about me? Who cares about me? They all care about Tegan and Piper. I just want to play. And I'm done playing nice. I'll play dirty if I have to. Hehe. Do you want to play dirty, Alicia? She's like, I don't like the sound of that, so I'm going to leave. 68 raid match. Katana Chancellors win again. She beats Indy Hartwell 8-21 by pinfall. 63 for Katana, 62 for Indy. Yeah, nice little match for these two women. Katana now have a win in 2 weeks in a row. She beat B-Fab last week and now she's beating Indy. Nice. So, you know, when she's not in there with Sasha and getting fucked over by the Authority, she's doing alright. We then get a quick video recap. The J-Flow, no, it's Mackie. She's got a vlogging camera, so I'm sure you see the J-Flow goes by and goes, we're going back to Japan on our next, you know, Japanese tour. But this time we have a special guest. Say hi, newest member of J-Flow. Camera pans across to a miserable Chelsea Green. She goes, just turn the camera off and leave me alone for the whole flight. And we get flight montages of Mackie like prodding Chelsea in the face. Come on, you know, you got to do group activities. He goes, I don't want to do any of the sort, okay? I just want to sleep until this nightmare tour is over. And then they land. Chelsea, you know, she's taller than everybody else because she's the American in Japan. You know, that old comedy trope. You know, they lose their bags. Just, who do I complain to here? Just, you don't. You enjoy the ride, okay? We got you your own special clothes. And it's J-Flow merch that, like, barely fits. Because now you're like one of the band. You need to come to the tailors with us to get your band clothes sorted. Just, I don't want band clothes. Like, she gets dragged off. It's like to be continued. Chelsea's adventures in Japan with J-Flow. 75 rated tag match. Sol Ruca and Zoe Stark pick up the win over the Unholy Union. Sol Ruca pinning Iona Webb in 11:29. 61 for Zoe Stark, 66 for Sol Ruca, 68 for Webb, 78 for Fire. Nice little tag team match. And another 75 rated tag team main event. It is the Fierce and the Fabulous against Ivy Nile and Olympic gold medalist Tyra May Steele. I felt like she'd vibe alright with Ivy, so I thought I would try out the tag team. And they don't have bad chemistry, but they don't have excellent chemistry, so who knows. But yeah, Carmella does pin Tyra May for super kick. Apparently she pinned over super kick with Kira Fuda clutch combo. Sure. 68 for Carmella, 82 for Shayna, 62 for Ivy Nile, and a 53 for Tyra May Steele. And that ends the show. Gets a 72. Pretty decent episode of Heat. But that is more like you4 of the show, mainly of Raw. Do let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time for EC Dub. See you then.